What's up guys, Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today we're going to do a game from the America's Tacticians Cup #1. This is the first big tournament in the Americas that qualifies people outside of Tier 1. So if you're just regular Joe Schmo on the street, or if you're, Kurum, Phoenix, Wigwug, all these fantastic players who are not in Tier 1 because unlucky, Dank Memes, 0-1 as well, players who are fantastic players but are not in Tier 1 because not everybody can be in Tier 1, then you're playing in this tournament. And another fantastic player who did end up actually winning the tournament overall is I'm Riveting here. Riveting had a really nice run across the entire tournament, 43 points. Huge shout out to Wigwug as well, though, who went second, 1 point off, 42 points. I don't actually know if he had tiebreakers, but either 1 or 2 points off. And Wigwug, he's my boy. He's a longtime viewer of mine. I will say, if you're watching this video and you want to get better at TFT and you're inspired, hopefully you're not going to expire anytime soon, Wigwug was in your shoes just a few years ago and then started locking into competitive TFT, started, dedicating more time. Will I take 100% credit for all of his success throughout his entire competitive career? Yes, I will. I think that's only reasonable. No, but, he started watching my videos, was getting better and better at TFT, and now he is, the student has become the master. He is literally, about to win a cup like this. So shout out to him. Wigwug, if you're watching this video, turn on your VODs. Did you stream this last tournament? I tried to go into your Twitch channel and I didn't see any VODs. So stream the next one if you come on, man. I wanna be go watch Wigwug, but he's not. Whatever. He did drop a good Fizz guide, though. I'll have the link to that in the description as well. And I'll have another link to a guide in the description as well. This is a guide that we're going to talk about today because this is Riveting's Ekko guide. He played a lot of Ekko throughout the weekend, plays it a lot on ladder. This is kind of his signature comp. And so he dropped a full kind of Ekko Bible positioning, itemization, all this kind of stuff, best board. And so we're going to talk through all of this as we go through a VOD of him playing Ekko because he streamed his tournament games and he played it. So let's check out how the master himself decides to pilot this Ekko comp. The only other thing in news that I have to announce is that today is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. So yeah, I did a little bit of a stream yesterday that went past midnight, so I got some nice birthday wishes from some of you guys on Twitch, so thank you guys for that. If you want to know how old I am, I finally turned 21 years old today. I know it's crazy. I can finally, drink alcohol and party. It's been a long time coming, so it's crazy, but I'm 28 years old today, which still pretty young, honestly, especially in terms of TFT. There's a lot of TFT people in their 30s. Is it older than some people? No, it's not. I'm literally the youngest person in the world. So it's a pretty cool thing to be the youngest person in the world. But you can see why we think about playing Ekko Reroll this game to get into the VOD here. Blitzcrank 2, Ekko already, BT Slam. First song meant Pandora's, Earths, and Early Learnings. The nice thing about Pandora's is you can just guarantee BIS, and that's really good. Even though we do already have the BT, we don't have a lot of pieces of other BIS stuff. So Riveting in this spot is just going to say, you know what, I'm just going to take the Pandora's, guarantee that I have good items, and just slam up the BT here after I scout and ensure that nobody else is playing Ekko, and there's nobody else in there, so GG's. He calls Ekko in chat, which my head is covering, but he does call that and slams the BT plus half chain. So one of the reasons I wanted to VOD review this game specifically is because it is a Pandora's game, which means that we get to pick whatever items we want. And one of the things that Riveting talks about in his Ekko guide is that he has a little different item priority than everybody else who plays this comp, and the stats really support it. So we'll talk about that as we get there. We make the Titan Slam, and this is the first part of it, is any first bow, he says must be Titan's Resolve. And it makes perfect sense. CC immunity is really good on this Ekko unit. A lot of people are looking towards, and also sorry for the video stuttering a little bit. It gets better after this, essentially, but I think he was having a little bit of an issue with his stream. But also, it's TFT, at least it's not like League of Legends where it doesn't, it's fine. We can see what happens. You could be happy with the PowerPoint presentation, low-key. But a lot of people like to build Guinsus on this Ekko unit. Riveting actually is a Guinsus hater, and the stats are actually pretty hatery on Guinsu's Rageblade as well. After you build BT plus Titans, Guinsus actually looks pretty rough in the stats, and there's a lot of better stuff for you to build. Stuff like Giant Slayer is kind of like the premier one. An earlier game he played, he even ended up building like JG. Just kind of BT Titans plus some kind of damage item looks really, really nice on this Ekko unit, and it makes sense, right? You don't really need the extra attack speed from Guinsoo's. You're already getting attack speed from Zawon in this comp here. The ramping effect is also pretty bad the further that you get into the game, because fights go faster and faster and faster as you're getting towards the late game. You don't have the ability for this Ekko to just scale up across the entire fight. In the early game, sure, you know, you can just have Ekko scale up super, super long and live forever, but that doesn't happen later. Ekko on Carousel here, easy pickup. Don't even feel bad about taking the sword, because like we talked about, GS is just such a nice item on Ekko. He is a front to back carry. He's got to kill the front line. Oh, that is an Ekko too, and another Ekko and a GS here, so he can build his favorite item in this spot and also play for this. This is fantastic. And he can start getting into his real board, which is playing around the Nico. So that's the other thing I want to talk about in this comp is the last time I VOD reviewed this comp, he also typed in chat, I can't count for some reason, I guess thinking that he was making 20, but I mean, as long as he wins, he makes 20. So surely we win here. I mean, our board's crazy good, so not bad at all here. Yeah, but the last time I VOD reviewed this comp, it was the Setsuko game where he took Silco's Revenge. And that was actually a pretty different version of the comp than people play these days. That was, you know, vertical Zawon, which you certainly can still play if you end up in a spot for it. Play a bunch of Zawon units, especially with Silco's Revenge, have them all blow up, do good stuff. But since then, people have started to realize, we talked about the Aphelios reroll comp that plays around a Nico 3 and a Nidalee, and this comp does very much the same kind of thing, where you can play for Nico 3 very easily, rolls very naturally with the fact that you're rolling for Vi 3, and then you can hit Nidalee, who is actually a fantastic duo carry on this board, so that is what Riveting is looking towards this game. We'll see, you know, how easy it is for him to get there. Oh, I'm curious if he takes the... I've heard some people hype up Tuned Oscillator in this comp, but yeah, he doesn't like it that much. Okay, I can't imagine that it's like that amazing, and so he ends up just taking the EMP. Yeah, I mean, it seems solid enough here. We can also make gold as long as we, you know, sell everything here, and we are going to sell everything. Hold on to the Caitlyn for the +1 here, and then reroll both of these items. We had Sword open. It was Sword tier open, I believe. We're going to reroll both of these, throw the Caitlyn onto the board here, who will eventually become the Seraphine, of course, but for now, Caitlyn is pretty good, and he's going to hold on to the Rod here. This can be tank item on Nico, this can be, I mean, this could be everything. I feel like there's so many things to build out of Rod now. It could be Ionic Spark for MR Shred on the front line, and it could even be Nidalee item that we're just holding on to Nico for right now, and he is going to team planner out. We can actually pull up the board that he team planners out here, because these are a lot of units that you want to look for, and especially until you have the Nidalee, these are a lot of things you're going to be playing. So like the Cho'Gath plus Malzahar, really, really nice to play until you can get to stuff like Seraphine. So this is like a really good like out that you play that you're not going to play the whole game, but something that you can play for a while. Swain, obviously just a fantastic jug that you can play on this board, and then Seraphine. I mean, you're always playing Seraphine on this board just because you're playing Vi plus Ekko. It bridges the traits so nicely. But you can see, we don't hold on to the Dr. Mundo. We're not interested in this vertical Zawon portion setup. I guess it's just heroic grab bag here. Exile seems really tough to position in this comp, and Seraphim's just doesn't seem very good. So I think those are an easy couple of rerolls here, and then heroic grab bag can really accelerate us to our 3 stars here, and we get the Ionic Spark here, so we are going to slam that there, level up, get the Nico 2 here, and he's actually going to roll a little bit more and finds the Mal's here, so this is probably where we're going to stop for now. I'm actually really curious how he uses these grab bags from heroic, just because there's a lot of outs potentially in this comp. There's a lot of units that you can play for, and so I want to see, you know, how hard he plays for stuff like, you know, at what point does he use these dupes for everything versus just chilling and you know, taking the first thing that we get. He also, so Riveting is, I guess he's someone who's playing without face cam, because or like Mike, because he keeps typing. He typed woo in chat here. Let me move my head down, so if he types any other kind of little thing here, then we can get that in there as well. I also just realized that the edge of the video has like, there's a little black bar there. This is literally on the VOD itself. I don't know why his VOD's like that, but whatever. Ekko here. I run to the right side. Just such a just such a monster unit in these early games. We rotate into this giant Scion, but I mean, especially just accelerating to these 3 items is huge in this comp here. I think the Pandora's was a great pickup, not even necessarily for the Pandora's effect. We ended up not even rerolling that many components this game, but just giving those extra components to play with and hitting a 3-item Ekko as early as we did is just, it makes us so strong in the mid game. So I think the Pandora's was such a nice pickup here. Looking like we're going to take a cloak here for another Neeko item, trying to get to 3-item Ekko, 3-item Neeko in general in TFT. You're going to get to 3-item carry, 3-item tank very, very quickly. Those are your most important items. And then you can kind of like go from there. And that's what he's doing. He is at his 3-item Ekko here. He's actually rolling a bit here, just a little bit deeper, saying I have some pairs here. I have Malice pair, I have Vi pair, and he actually gets rewarded in hitting the 2-star on the Vi here, who is just going to be not a crazy unit on this board, but, you know, just somebody decent. We do rotate into a very, very strong Twisted Fate with the Captain's Brew, which is really annoying up until we stack that Titan's Resolve. Just getting the chill onto our Ekko is disgusting here. So we do take our first loss in a long time here. We do also pick up the Chosif Gath here, which we are considering as stronger. Juggernaut plus Void on this board over just the Pilty, and he is saying that this is strong on this board. Makes our board a little bit tankier, gets another really nice beefy frontline. Even the CC from just Cho I think is really, really nice in general here. You can also see just positioning wise, we are keeping Ekko on the edge next to the Neeko. Neeko's going to take any aggro, and then Ekko's going to be able to do stuff like this and walk into backline. We'll talk more later about some of the cool positioning techs that he talks about in this comp, and Nidalee makes some really interesting stuff happen, and I'm curious just kind of how he opts to play it, because there's a lot that you can do in this comp. Another Ekko, another Nidalee, or Neeko, who is, I guess, kind of half of a Nidalee. She's got Nidalee inside of her once she hits 3-star, or I guess 2-2-stars. So that's on the way, but for now we are just chilling here. Get what I guess could be Adaptive Helm if you really want. It looks like he's looking for more true tank items here. Does pick up the Mouse 2 there. Chosif Gath here. We can just play Swain over this. Yeah, this is perfect here. Is going to make Morello here and then Reforge just to immediately get to Crown Guard. AP type tank items, really, really nice on Neeko because she is one of these, you know, Arcanist AP tanks. She scales very well with AP. And the Morello actually not even bad for her to just like spread a little bit with her AoE actually. Yeah, kind of nice. And just having a 3rd item onto Neeko is big. The HP, the AP, really nice stats on her in general. So makes a lot of sense. Very, very high HP here. Really nice. Going to go into last augment here. Spears Will, Indiscriminate Killer, CB. Must be CB, I would think here. Just combat aug so good when we have this 3-item Ekko already. We do have the Indiscriminate Killer, but I don't think it's that worth it here. Gonna hold on to another Vi here. I do find that when people play this variant of the comp, they are not as interested in going for Vi 3 because they would rather, you know, go for the Nidalee as your duo carry. So we'll see how much he cares about a Vi 3 on this board, but it'd be my intuition that he's not going to care about it too much. Love this positioning as well from him. It's actually really rough. We should have put Ekko 1 hex down, but the idea here is you want the enemy melee carry. Whenever there's an enemy melee carry and you're playing this comp, you want them to walk up and then aggro onto the Neeko. Now, problematically, I think it's a 50-50 here who walks up first. I think if Viego had walked up, and then he would aggro onto Neeko. Instead, the Ekko walks up first and immediately eats aggro, which is really, really bad here. So actually, to do BIS positioning here, we would have wanted Ekko 1 hex further back so that he would wait kind of an extra second, walk up, then the Viego would be guaranteed to aggro onto the Nidalee here. Or Nidalee, I don't know why I keep calling Neeko Nidalee. I mean, I guess they're both N names. But yeah, it's actually a little bit tragic, that fight. Not the end of the world. You know, we got a lot of HP to play with, and that is one of the most important things in this comp. It's really nice that we win streak stage 3. Any 2-cost reroll, you should be win streaking stage 3 on 2-star 2-cost. That is just the tempo flow with 2-cost reroll here. This is also rough positioning, actually. Rotate into the 2-star Yunara here, and you can tell Riveting has played this comp because the second he sees that Yunara, he's like, I know what's going to happen here. She's going to aggro there, not aggro onto the Ekko, but it doesn't matter. She's going to laser beam through the Ekko and just absolutely smush him here. So pretty unfortunate fight RNG again for us there. Item on carousel here. You'd love to finish Nidalee items here. A lot of options, right? There's Bramble here. There is Protector's Vow here if you want it. I like Bramble a lot in this meta just because there's so much AD. We do actually pick up the extra Violet, which is interesting here. And we do have the Singe now. We are just going to roll down because we are oh so close. So yeah, he is actually interested in the Vi here. Finds the Neeko. And wow, yeah, he actually really wants to go for the Vi 3 here as well. Okay, so this is interesting. He does actually still value the Vi decently highly in this comp. Just as another item carry, we do have, you know, 2 extra components from our augment here. So thinking maybe we can get to Vi items down the line here. So wait, this is actually, I'm actually really happy I've auto-reviewed this game because I really want to see what his item priority is after this. Because we have the, you know, we have the Nidalee now. We have a 0-item Nidalee and a 0-item Vi 3 is the way that our board works right now. So the question is, who gets items? Who do we want to prioritize here? Because both of them are fantastic units to itemize. I think a lot of people usually are playing for the Nidalee. But you know, just the strength of units wise, one would normally think if TFT is a balanced game, which sometimes it is, that the 3-star Vi would be stronger than the Nidalee one, certainly. Also, you can just see why he likes this Ekko comp so much. Boom, boom, boom. The Ekko just heals up to full. This is also why the GS is so nice, just allowing him to start off just bonking people from the start, right? You don't want him to have to ramp up really hard with this Gwynsu's Rage Blade in comps like this. You really just want him to kill people right from the start. I mean, there's Rod if we want to save it for the Nidalee. He does opt to save it here. Bow is pretty mediocre here. So we're just going to look at Nidalee item here. What's his favorite? Deathcap here? I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's just a slam here. And so it does certainly seem like his priority is on Nidalee. He opted to save the Rod here instead of reforging. And I mean, had he really wanted to itemize Vi, we could have made something like a Hodge here. So yeah, he does actually prioritize the Vi as just a meat shield in this comp. That's actually pretty interesting, that he wanted to pick up the Vi 3, but we're going to itemize the Nidalee as the main carry here, because one would think, right, if you're never going to itemize this Vi, that you just wouldn't go for it. You would have just duped here instead of digging for the Vi 3. You would have just duped, found Ekko 3 really quickly, and used that and then just pushed levels and tried to find Nidalee 2. So I'm very curious to see where items end up if we I mean, it's going to be impossible to truly itemize both the Nidalee and the Vi. I mean, going into stage 6 carousel, I guess we'll be able to do that, but that is a bit far off, especially for 2-cost reroll, which will fall off later, right? You're not expected to win games with this comp really, and you could even see in Riveting's match history with this comp, he did not have a lot of like wins with it. He had a lot of like thirds and fourths and seconds and things like that. This is also, now we can start talking about interesting positioning stuff with the Nidalee here. So the way that he is positioning right now is Nidalee on the edge and then Singed next to her. And the dream here is that Nidalee starts pulling, or Singed really starts pulling people away from the Nidalee. He starts walking away from that corner. And this allows the Nidalee to wrap into backline. And then you have the Ekko on the other side who can wrap into backline. There is the PP out there, the Panny Andrew positioning, where you put Nidalee and Singed in the middle and try to drag their middle tanks away. Riveting has said that it's kind of like, it's an option, but not necessarily something that you want to default to. And you can see Nidalee on the backline there, but sadly, just a Nidalee 1 just can't get through this backline here. So yeah, another loss here. We are close to spiking, but we're just not quite there yet. We need the Nidalee 2, and we need to stop fighting these really strong boards here, would be the dream here. There's Hodge here for Nidalee if you want it. I'm actually curious. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, the rest of his items looked pretty awful, so he does end up taking the Hodge here. So it makes sense. Gonna roll once there. I don't know what that was. He just rolled once for fun. Okay. We are gonna do, this is a little bit close. Nah, I mean, this is just his default positioning that he likes here. Once again, Nidalee on the edge, Singed next to it, and just very, very easy to swap back and forth and just try to put Ekko same side as carry here. And you can see, right, this set is a melee carry. He gets pulled very far away, and then Nidalee, hopefully would be able to go into backline there, but there were some other melee units there in that spot. But that's the idea, at least, behind this comp here. Really close fight, but oh my God, the CB comes up huge here. Anytime you can take a Celestial Blessing in this comp, be excited about it, because that is what the CB augment does. It just allows your board to get insanely tanky with all of the healing. You're doing so much damage. There's no such thing as too much healing in this comp. Don't build like 10 healing items onto Ekko, but I mean, having him just survive longer is huge here. We do this second row Ekko thing again, trying to not get aggroed on by the Volibear, and you can actually see it works perfectly here. The Volley ends up aggroing onto the Nidalee, which is exactly what we want here. He ends up dropping aggro with the Edge of Night here, but it's okay because the Ekko goes right back onto it and we kill it here. So this is a perfect masterclass of how to position versus the Volibear here. Let me show this one more time just to just to, you know, bring it home here, is we put Ekko second row here. This means Volley walks up here. Ekko takes a little bit longer to walk up, and the Volley ends up aggroing onto the Nidalee here. So you can see the Volley walks here, the Ekko walks here, and then the Volley ends up aggroing onto the Nidalee, which you can see once he tabs back over here, the Volley has aggroed onto the Nidalee. So really nice stuff from Riveting. Guarantees that we win that fight that otherwise it's very possible that we would have lost. Frontline Ekko walking up and taking aggro there, we probably would have lost that fight because the Ekko has no you know, aggro drop here. There's no Edge of Night on the Ekko here. We really need him to not take aggro at the start because he will die. All right, let's level here, roll for the rest of our board here. Still looking for that Seraphine that we haven't found yet. So we're just going to play Taric as our +1 and then look for last item onto the Nidalee here, which I guess is just going to be double Hodge here. Yeah, I love this. I mean, this just shows perfectly his priority here. I will say, you know, obviously Riveting won the tournament. I wonder at Riveting, if you do watch this VOD, because you know, sometimes people watch my VOD reviews of them. What do you think about making the Vi 3 this game? Because I feel like it did just make us kind of poorer for not that much benefit. You know, I'd rather have the gold of Vi here to be able to roll for Seraphine and to be able to roll for other stuff here. And we do finally find the Seraphine here, so this gets to come on the board here. It's interesting that it's also cool that he likes to play the Morello on the Seraphine over the Singed here. Honestly, I know we're getting towards the end of the VOD, but I want to do a stats check here. All right, this is another TIL. So I really like, you know, the Singed to spread heal cut in a spot like this, but it actually does prefer the Morello on Seraphine. If you just put Seraphine Singed, I guess I should put Ekko 3 on the board as well, just to filter to know we're playing for this exact comp here. It's actually, when you put Ekko 3, it does actually say Singed over Seraphine. Interesting. But definitely seems like there's potential for it to be good on Seraphine. The idea is just that if you're afraid Singed is going to die, Seraphine's just not going to die, right? She's just going to sit in the back and keep applying this, whereas Singed can die here. Oh, this is also such a tragic fight. We were looking at winning this, and then we actually just got kindreded here. But this is what the comp's meant to do: farm those thirds, farm those fourths, farm those seconds if you're in a good spot for it. I think this was just a perfect, just a masterclass from Riveting. I feel like he showed everything about this comp, and end of the game on a Nidalee 1 and still a top 3, I think is pretty darn good. Nidalee 1, yeah, all of our 4 costs 1 star, except for Singed at the end of this game, and still a top 3 is pretty darn good. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch, my Metafy, all my links down below. We do have another Metafy group session on Thursday, so if you guys haven't signed up, you can sign up. You get access to the last VOD. We get another one that's coming in just a few days, so go check that out. Link to the Metafy down there, and I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching as always. And Wigwug, if you're watching this video, you heard what I told you earlier. Turn the VODs on, man. Turn the stream on, buddy. All right, see you guys later.